Hi, my name is Riz and welcome back to my fitness channel. Today I have for you a lower body, no equipment workout. This workout is suitable for most levels. If you can squat and hinge, you can do this workout. Of course, I'll be adding lots of cues and lots of alternatives. Other than that, join me on the mat for our warm-up. So on all fours, we are going to tuck our toes in, press away from the mat into our downward dog, pedaling out our heels, and breathe. We're going to transition into plank, drop our hips into upward dog, look up to the sky. Widen our knees and sit back into child's pose. Move around here. Standing up, we are going to widen our stance and come into a deep squat. How far apart you want your toes, just make sure your knees are in line with your toes. You're going to take our elbows, press your knees apart, move to one side, move to the other, feel it out. Drop your left hand, raise your right, still pushing away that left knee with your elbow. Come down, off to the other side, and switch. Dropping our hands, picking up our hips to the sky. And then coming back down, one more time, pushing away our knees. Let's feel around, dropping our left hand, raise our right hand up, switch, off to the other side, switch, back onto all fours. We are going to bring our left foot to our left hand, dropping our right hip. We're going to take our left hand and push away that knee, looking up to the sky. And then rocking back into a hamstring stretch. And then pushing away that knee. Back into a hamstring stretch. All right, back into all fours. We're going to switch off to the other side. Right foot, right hand, dropping left knee, and pushing away your right leg. Really opening up our hips here, looking to the sky. Let's rock back into our hamstring stretch. Pulling back that left glute. Come back. Let's push away our leg again. Breathe. And then rock back into our stretch. Hips facing forward. All right, now that we're all warmed up, let's get to the workout. We have 45 seconds on, 8 exercises, and your rest will be me demoing the next exercise. So you're gonna get no less than 30 seconds rest between each exercise. All right, coming up, we're gonna go into our hip hinge. If you wanna use weights for this workout or some bands that you have, go ahead and incorporate them in. It will be no harm. All right, so we're gonna go into our hip hinge. All we're gonna do is we're gonna push our hips back as if we're touching the wall. We're gonna keep our legs slightly bent. Our hips are going to push back and then our chest is going to follow. Like so. Once you feel a little stretch, come back up. All right, setting the timer.
All the memories we made under the summer sun, chasing after waves, a taste of berries on my tongue, sipping on a feeling, sun has got me healing, vibing out to your guitar. I don't wanna go yet, watch another sunset, wishing on a shooting
we're going to transition into a single leg hip hinge. So you're going to notice a pattern within this workout. We're going to go into bilateral exercises and then unilateral forms of that exercise right after. Practicing on our left leg, follow with me. So putting all our weight on our left leg, we're going to hinge back. You're going to find your right leg lifting. We're going to keep our core engaged. Really squeeze your core here. And then come on up and then switch to the other side. Take your time here. It's not about how many reps, but how well we do the reps. If you want to use a wall, that's totally fine. And when all else fails, just take your right leg, put it back about like 1.5 feet behind you, and just hinge, and then come up, hinge, and then come up. Make sure to keep your core engaged, though that's going to help you with your balance. All right, setting up the timer, and let's begin.
Maybe we could just pretend.
All right, next we're gonna go into our good old squat. So cues you wanna look out for: knees aligned with toes. Depending on the structure of your body, you may lean forward a little, or you may be straight upright. That's totally fine. When you come down, make sure your core is engaged, and then come straight back up. You can play around the depth here, but try to squat as low as you can. Whatever you do, just make sure your back isn't arching, but tuck those hips in a little, engaging that core, and keep that chest upright. You don't want to sink in here. A good way to help with that is placing your hands behind your head. Helps with keeping that chest up. Next, you're gonna go into a single leg squat. All right, so what that's going to look like is you're gonna place all your weight on your left leg. We're gonna turn out that right leg. It's gonna be about a foot apart. We're gonna come down, squat, and then come back up. This right leg is just to stabilize you. I want you to focus putting all your weight on that dominant working leg. So once I squat down, come up, I'm just gonna switch off to the other side. Focus on really pushing away from the floor. Inhale coming down, exhale coming up. Same cues as just the regular squat. Chest up, core engaged, knee aligned with your toes. So we're not falling out, we're not falling in, but aligned with our toes. All right, let's begin.
Thought that you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go lose.
halfway through the workout. Next, we're gonna go into our hip thrust. Lying on our backs, feet are slightly closer than shoulder width apart. Just make sure you can touch your heels here. All you're going to do is you're gonna tuck in your glutes. This is gonna help you engage your core. Already you feel some activation going on here. And we're just going to press up off the floor, keeping that balance of weight between our heel and our big toe, squeezing at the top, and then slowly lowering to the ground. We're not hyperextending here, but keeping our hips tucked and then coming down. All right, let's begin.
I do what I want. 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 Hear me now. I do what I want. I thought I had it figured out. Believed in us. We were meant to be, no doubt. A teenage love. Everybody else could see.
All right, done. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna lift one leg, and we're gonna have to use the floor a little bit more to just kind of like counteract that balance. Then we're gonna press up off the ground and then come back down. If that is too difficult for you, you can always take your leg, fold it on top of your working leg, and press up. You'll even get more range of motion here, but you'll find that it's easier to balance. So once you finish your rep on your left, you're just gonna switch to your right. All right, don't worry too much about pushing up as hard as you can off the ground. Just make sure you're bracing your core properly and maintaining good balance and form. Take your time here. All right. Setting up the timer. And let's begin. Lie on your stomach. You can take your hands, cross them, place your forehead on them. All you're going to do is squeeze your glutes and lift your legs off the ground, really pulling those heels up to the ceiling, and then lower back down. It's really important to keep your core engaged during this exercise, as we don't want to add too much stress to our lower back. So keeping our chest on the floor, we're just going to lift our legs up. Squeeze your glutes here, squeeze all your posterior muscles here, and let's get to it. Setting up the timer, and let's begin.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. search, but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars.
Next, we're going to go into a single leg raise. All you're going to do is lift up one leg, then lift up the other. Make sure you're holding at least a second at the top. So you're gonna kind of go for that swimmer's look, but taking your time, much slower. Really press away from the floor here, lifting our leg up. All right, let's take a deep breath together. Let's do that. In through the nose, out through the mouth. All right, let's get it done. Setting up the timer, and let's begin.
We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars. We're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious. That's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious.
All right, so I know it seems like we're done already, but we have one last thing to do. What we're going to do is we're just gonna lift our legs up and we're gonna hold for 45 seconds. If you find yourself dropping, come right back up. Even if it's just a little leg raise, keep that leg raised, okay? Let's go into downward dog before we do that real quick. Give our lower back a rest. Let's move around. All right, coming back down onto our stomachs. All right, and let's begin.
Reaching for the stars. I wonder where you are.
And 0. Let's push up off the ground, tucking our toes in into downward dog. Let's pedal out here, dropping our knees and resting that chest to the floor. Let's lie on our backs here and take our knee to chest. Switch, breathe. Roll to our side, come up. We're going to go into pigeon pose, tucking in our left knee. We're going to slowly lower our elbows to the floor. Maybe you're only halfway, that's totally fine. Dropping our head. Nice glute stretch here. Let's switch. tucking our toes in into downward dog, walking our hands to our feet, rolling on up. Let's spread our feet out nice and wide, pushing our hips back and touching the floor. Relax here, taking nice deep breaths in the stretch. And roll on up. If you'd like, you can do some quad stretches, keep stretching. Do whatever you need to do. And that is our lower body, no equipment workout. If this is not enough work for you, go ahead, repeat this workout up to 4 more times. Before you go, I'd like to touch base for a minute or two about the future of this channel. So as you can see, if you look at my channel, there is a huge, ginormous gap of a few months, I think, of no content. That was me taking a break and reflecting on how can I be consistent with this and creative with this and still enjoy this, because I want to grow this. So you will be seeing a lot more content from me from now on. So if you click that subscribe button, I will not disappoint. I'm gonna be pumping out this content and we're gonna have lots of fun. We are gonna have a good old time together. It's gonna be challenging, but it's gonna be a good old time. All right, I'll see you next time in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Rest up, drink lots of water, get some protein in, and I'll see you next time.